Welcome to Our Culture to the World. Come with me, meet new people, and learn from their experiences on this episode of Our Culture to the World. My guest today is Karen Thomas. And Karen, introduce yourself. Tell us, who is Karen Thomas?
Karen Thomas is the mama Pepper Pot. I background born in Guyana, came to America, middle school age, back home. That's all I know. My mom, both my parents was cooks, and that was our business back home. So I grew up in that environment. And that's all I know. And I enjoy doing this stuff. I love cooking for people.
Good, good.
Don't cook for myself, but
Oh,
I
you do.
enjoy cooking for people.
Okay. But you know, when you told me, it's interesting because when you told me where you're from, because I am from the same area, we both from Linden. As a matter of fact, I
Oh
think I
boy.
heard that on Facebook that you're from Linden. So when I spoke to you on the phone and you told me which part of Linden, I knew exactly which family you were from.
Everybody know
Yes.
when you go from then people come from Georgetown or wherever they come from, and they ask all they gotta say, do y'all know Chinaman? Because that's what they used to call my father.
Right.
Everybody just they don't do it to point where to point in that direction. Oh, they're living over there. Everybody know us in Linden.
Mhm. And so
So
for those who don't and those who don't know, Karen's father, as far as I'm concerned, I've never eaten a chana. And in Guyana, we say chana. We got that from the Indian, our Indian heritage. What we're talking about is what they call chickpeas here in the
yes,
United States. And you know, he made the best chana I've ever eaten. And,
I know,
and
but
yes,
I think I got them beat now.
okay, but I gotta taste yours. I gotta taste yours. Okay. So Karen, you mentioned there are a couple of things you mentioned in your introduction, and I'm going to try to expand on them. First of all, you said that you came to the US as a child, middle school age. And I know, you had told me that you lived in New York, but I know that right now you're in Tennessee, which is like you
Yes.
moved from where you have a big West Indian Caribbean population to
Mhm.
the south, and I'm sure I'm pretty sure the population is not, even if there might be a few here and there, but not like in New York. So how was that for you? How different was it? Was it easy? Did you have any kind of culture shock experiences when you moved from New York to Tennessee?
No, because it's weird. I could adapt to things very easily,
Mhm.
and it was my their father, who had some friends working in Tennessee, and when he came back from Guyana, he said, "Okay, Karen, we packing up. We going to Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee." I'm like, "Where that is? I never heard it." And he did, and so I decided, okay, it's no different. So I just pack up and leave.
Mhm.
And we got here, and there was a job. He had a job already waiting for me,
Mhm.
working in this warehouse.
Mhm.
And like I said, I get adapted to things very easily because I get my kids in school. I learn the area and wherever we was and all this stuff. And I started to work in this warehouse not far from where we was living at the time, right up the street. I was working, and I was working on the line, picking apart parts. And as I was working, I would ask questions and letting them know X, Y, and Z, and which is something that I never did before.
Mhm.
And so that's why I said I get adapted to things easily, because I moved from working on the line to being a lab technician
Okay.
and testing their parts.
Okay. At the same firm, the same.
Yes, at the same place. So, and I just know that, okay, all my family, my immediate family was my kids and their father. That's it. That's who I have here. And the very few Guyanese people in Tennessee that I would have a conversation with every so often.
Mhm.
And I was never the type. I was always mama first and anything else after.
Good, good. Yeah.
So
So
I
you
got
can.
adapted to it, and then I started cooking because like the few that is here, they know me from back. They know us from back home too, the Thomases, and they started. Okay, when you gonna cook some food for me to eat? And I started to cook and give and take the work food and introduce and I'm like, okay, on the weekend I could start doing this thing for the few people that is here, and I could start doing this thing out of my house on the weekend, and that's exactly what I did.
Okay. So you actually have taken us to how you were sharing Guyanese and Caribbean culture through food. Because, like you said, this was in your blood, it's the family, and you started to. So you
Yep,
started first for just for friends or for the people you work with the
the
business?
people I work with, and the few Guyanese people that is here,
Mhm.
because there was not just when I went at that same company that I was working at, there was a few Guyanese. Yeah, so because I never used to work on the weekends, so I started cooking out of my kitchen
Yeah.
and start and start and eventually they started to pay to get this food. So I started to think about, okay, I want to introduce these folks in Nashville, Tennessee, to what I know, because I know they're gonna love it, and that's what I did. I started to cook, and the few that I was working with that is from Nashville, Tennessee. I just started to introduce them to the food too. And then they really oh, you should go global with this. This is good food.
Good.
And that's how, and I'm like, okay. And I work a few more jobs, and I said, man, I really enjoy doing this food thing, and I love this. I could do this stuff in my sleep.
Wow.
And
So tell me, how long have you been doing this? Like, preparing, you have your food business.
it's about 2.5 years. Yeah, it's about 2 years since I have the food truck.
So, right. So you said about,
And
mhm.
and when after all this working and all this stuff, and then I thought my kids started to was growing up and everybody getting older, and I'm like, okay, I'm doing this stuff out of my kitchen. I have a friend, a few of them got together, and all of them is Guyanese. And so when they got together and decided everybody they're gonna put money together and open this restaurant, Island Breeze Cafe.
Mhm.
And I was the cook in there because everybody Karen is the one who was gonna be the cook. And I was the cook, and that it was it had a bar, it had everything, it had dance, it's a club, the restaurant to the back, and I'm cooking. And I I quit my job and started doing that full time. And then there was a after that hurricane came through and wash away the building
Oh.
in Madison. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then one of the guys that he had a trailer, a food trailer, one of the partners. And so he gave me he gave me the food trailer, and it was parked off of Charlotte Avenue out by Addicts Pharmacy. It was a pharmacy and a storefront, and then I had the trailer out there, and then I had a half drum grill where I used to grill all my meat, like the jerk chicken and all that stuff. And so I used that. I continue from the restaurant being flooded. I continue. So that's why I said I've been doing this like for myself about 4 years, but it's way beyond that.
Right, before, right. But tell
Yes.
me, so your food truck now is called the Pepper Pot. And why did you choose that name? Pepper Pot has a very special place in our culture. So why did you
You
choose Pepper
know
Pot?
that? Well, my son, especially Isaiah, my son always, always like to look back and think about, because they love pepper pot. It's the weirdest thing because I don't eat meat anymore. It's been years now. I don't eat meat, but I cook it. And that because, and people want to know, how do you do that? Because I've been doing it for so long, I don't even have to taste anything. I know exactly, and I got all my recipe written down because when I'm not here, or if I don't know when I'll be, but somebody else could follow. If you follow all my instruction, you could do this. You could get all this stuff done and take over. And I could be a boss then. But I chose the pepper pot. Me and my sons, they was involved in this too, because they love pepper pot. I used to always make them pepper pot come Christmas morning. They would wake up, oh, mommy, you're gonna make the gravy and the bread. That's what they used to call it, especially the young one. And it's like, okay, what name do we choose to let these people know? Because I always gotta explain to folks, because they always ask me that. The Tennesseans, they always ask, what's pepper pot? And I would explain what it's a dish from my country, and this is what it is, and all this stuff. So, as my son, we were thinking about the name, we come up with all kind of different name, and then we decided, you know what, we gonna really knock it out of the box with this one. Why don't we say call it pepper pot? Because that's a national dish of Guyana.
Right,
And I'm like, perfect. So we
right.
went with that.
Yes, but you just added an extra T, but we know it's Pepper Pot.
Yes,
Yes.
and that's why I tell people it's pepper pot with 2 T.
Right. But I'm thinking Pepper Pot and the other T is for Thomas.
Here you go. Say, you think just like my son, because those are the stuff that he come up with always. Yeah,
Yes, so
and so they're really, people just want, they always calling me, okay, because a couple of times I've cooked the pepper pot for some folks. A catering order come Christmas time, because when we explain it to them, it's like, okay, I need to order that.
okay.
And Christmas, and I always let them know that's what we do on Christmas morning. That's what you wake up and you have your homemade baked bread and and they would place that order. Okay, I want to wake up Christmas morning and eat the pepper pot too. And I had to make how much time I had to do pepper pot for Christmas for the folks in Tennessee that never know nothing about this, but
And what do they
every
think of, what is their reaction? What is
they love. Oh my God, they love this stuff. Oh, we look for this pepper pot, but you don't do it anymore. We want pepper pot for Christmas again. I'm like,
But they
because
could
I'm
have it
so
anytime.
busy. Yeah, exactly. And that's what I tell them. So the people at Vanderbilt, they just I would do it short where is because I use all original, all my stuff, the Cas Rip and all that stuff. I get it from back from Guyana.
Mhm.
I use all my Guyana seasoning to make my stuff. That's why I said when I said I'm going original, I go original. I
Right.
get all my calves rip and everything to make to when I doing the oxtail and the beef. I use I get calves rip. I get I can't use any other thing if I'm doing Guyanese stuff. I have to go with the Guyanese product. That's all I
Exactly.
know anyway.
Exactly. But tell me something, because you live in Nashville, Tennessee, right? You're in Nashville.
Uh-huh.
So where do you get your Guyanese stuff?
Atlanta.
You are
They
oh,
got
okay.
a Georgetown. This store where he know us. I do everything by the case. Even even my long min is Guyana.
Right.
So the packet I just be I would call him. It's called Georgetown Market.
Yeah, I go there too.
Said I go all original Guyana.
Yes. Yes.
Now my son's their father is telling he talking to me yesterday and he tell me and I'm showing him the bottle and he because he's back home and he's like um you know you need me to start sending these stuff to you. I'm like, yes, that is why I am coming home. I'm taking a little vacation. I'm coming home, and your son need. We need to sit down and talk. And you is the one who need to start shipping this stuff to me
Well,
because he
yeah,
have
might
a.
work out, might good more economical for you that way than having to
Oh
drive to Atlanta
yes,
and get stuff. And yeah.
yeah, I don't like doing that.
No, but I
And
was I was just saying you're actually showing me that yeah, this is not just Karen, this is a family affair, right?
oh
So
yes,
how
all my
and so you've
sons.
actually did mention how your children, your family is involved. Even they were even involved in the naming of the business. So how else are they involved in the business?
And the way how they got involved because when I used to work that trailer off of Charlotte there and cooking and all that stuff, I used to work 7 days a week and it just used to be me.
Mm.
And I work myself, I run myself down into the ground and I got tired and I just collapsed and my kids was like, shut it down. My sons, they shut it down and I took about a year off and just rest and reconnect with myself.
Mhm.
And then I went back to work again and working at this MAPCO in Hendersonville where I used to live. Well, it's right up the street from where I used to live. But I used to work in the back making their sandwiches. So it got to do with food.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I saved all my money. And then after I got back on my feet and was like, okay, I'm ready to walk away from MAPCO now. And Isaiah and me sit down and talk. And he said, okay, if you could give me X amount of money, I could get your business license because I know you bored right now. This is not what you love doing. I know you miss cooking and doing all your stuff, and you're back on your feet again. So I'm like, okay. So when I give him the money, he said, oh, you save a lot. That's not what I didn't want all this. I'm like, I've been saving my money. I haven't been doing anything. So, and he said, okay, I am gonna. I tell people all the time, my sons give up their suit and tie job for apron,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
they did, and they walk away from their job, And they started, and okay, we on track now. Let's start our own business because my mom is good at this stuff. She been she started to introduce these Tennesseans to this great food, and and then okay, she got take a vacation, no problem. But these people start to still asking and asking
Right.
whenever they see the kids, or they would call because my number is the same. I want to know, when are we gonna get this food? And I'm like, okay, we back on track. And then
Mhm.
Isaiah, that's how my children got so totally involved. All of the walk away from their job, their fancy job, and put on an apron and said, okay, we doing this thing for ourselves.
Right. And that's when you bought the food truck.
Yes, I bought the food truck because I used to do just catering,
Mhm.
and out to Citizen Kitchen downtown. I used to do all the catering, and on Sunday I would cook food and sell out to Citizen Kitchen, do DoorDash, Uber Eats, and all this stuff. And right now the people mad at me because I missed my Sunday dinner. I want my food. When you gonna start back up? I said, I don't know, but my son is gonna put it out there if we start back up, or if we get into a building, then
Mhm.
that's what it is.
Right, right. Mhm.
So I and like I said, I love when the people want and they even the kids. I have little kids. This one little girl literally love China so much. She said, "This is the only food truck you have to make that for me." And I was at the festival, the the African Street Festival with the food truck park out there and everything. And it was a few days festival, and the food truck had to stay right there. So she was like, okay, she came that Saturday. So I said, okay, tomorrow's Sunday. I'm gonna make sure I make it, because what I do is I add a little curry to mine.
Yes, yes.
And I really, with all the jeera and the grind masala and all this stuff, and I add a little curry to mine, and these people just lose their mind. And I make this child a whole pan of chana, and sure enough, our mama brought her back that Sunday. Oh, she was so happy. I said, it's only left for you to do a backflip. She said, oh my God. And I'm like, this, and I mean, it's a little child, it's not no grown people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how the people, and every time, like Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, we was at this Black History Month, and we was at the fairground, and we doing, and the food truck was out there, and people wanted. We didn't have no channel. That's not on the menu for last week, but that's what they wanted.
People were requesting it, right, right.
Yes,
But
and
you
I
know,
do it mostly for catering.
right. And you know, you actually answered some of the questions I had in mind because I was gonna ask you about your clientele. But I know now from what you've already told me that you're not catering just for Caribbean people or Guyanese.
Um,
uh,
yeah, no. Right now is Nashvillians I'm serving.
right,
They're
Nashville.
the most people. They're very few, and I mean, when I said I could count them on the Guyanese people that just come and support.
And you know
It's sure Nashvillians.
yeah, that makes sense too because I mean, and you know, you work, sorry, you provide the service for the community, not just for small. Because you
Yes.
won't do good business if you're just catering for a small group of people anyway.
No, I always say oh, I'm trying to introduce Nashville, Tennessee to all this good Guyanese Caribbean
Food,
food.
right?
I don't know. Like I said, these Tennesseans is just loving the food. Oh boy. And
But
they get mad when you're not there. I mean, if they go to an event and we not there, oh Lord.
tell
Because
me something. Mm.
last year we was number 4. Um the best food truck to eat from.
Okay, okay, okay. Gotta soon you're gonna be number one. But tell me, you mentioned the channel with the chickpeas, right? How much
Mhm.
of a hit it is. What are some of the other Caribbean dishes? And you mentioned the pepper pot too. What are some of the other
Mhm.
Caribbean dishes that are a hit with your clientele?
Cabbage. Oh,
Oh, they like
they lose their mind over cabbage.
so they like the cabbage. Anything? What
Oh,
else
they
they
love
like?
the cabbage. They like rice and peas. And I cook me right. I don't know how the Jamaicans them just cook their rice and peas. I gotta get my original coconut milk and all this.
Yeah,
I cook it just like if it's cook up. The only
yeah,
thing is
they
them
cook
got the
it
meat too.
right. They cook it like cook up too, but without the meat.
And I know if I only put meat in, if I only put meat in it, they will go more crazy.
Mhm.
If I do it the cook up way,
Right.
where you put meat
Right,
inside,
right.
they would lose their mind. Because I watch these girls, some of the customers just be like, talk about, I could eat this just like that. Oh my God, this stuff, I ain't never taste nothing like that. I'm like, really? Wow.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
I tell people all the time, I still do things my Guyana way
I know in addition to the food truck, you also do catering. So
a lot.
tell me something about the catering.
The catering is a lot. Now we would do we used to a 50-pound bag of rice. Can't do the work no more. We have to move it up because that's how bad the catering.
That's how
But
much in demand you are. Your food is.
yes, and especially for Vanderbilt University,
Okay.
I just do. Sometimes they got an event. They call the Pepper Pot. They buy out the food truck to come on campus and feed their students.
Mhm.
Even off campus, you have to. I gotta cater for if the alumni they have a get together at their house. I have to cater for that.
Mhm.
You name it, and they Vanderbilt don't care. Vanderbilt, I cook so much food for Vanderbilt. I'm like, I don't want to see no marks. Those long aluminum foil pan. So I make the oxtail, but I buy the nice rump roast, nice tender beef, and I mix that with the oxtail,
Okay.
and make that it's like an oxtail and beef stew
Okay. Mhm.
together. So Vanderbilt wanted I had to do 8 of those long file pan of oxtail and beef for Vanderbilt.
That's a lot of cooking. Mhm.
8 pans of jerk chicken,
Mhm.
6 pan macaroni and cheese. Because I tell people all the time, I do all my stuff originally. The baked macaroni and cheese, the 4 cheese baked macaroni and cheese is we make our stuff from scratch. No artificial anything.
Mhm.
Everything is original. And that is why I think that's why the folks love the stuff. I have about six or how much flavor wings. Plus we have the curry wings too.
Okay, okay. Yes,
See,
yes.
on Sundays I would do the oxtail and the beef stew, curry chicken, white rice, the rice and peas, uh, all these different stuff. I have to cater for the the vegetarian and the vegan people. I do the what we call, what we call breadfruit in Guyana. They
Right.
call it jackfruit.
Mm.
And I do a lot of those. So, and I do a lot of wings, and they love that curry wings. So, and I don't know. All I know is these folks really do enjoy this food. These
That
folks
is,
enjoy
yeah,
this food
sounds like it.
more than my own people, and I love every minute of it. And they can't wait to. Oh, I'm gonna follow. I follow you. We give them the card, and they follow us. I don't know. I don't do technology too often.
Yeah, well,
I'm not a
actually,
technology
I
person.
recently discovered y'all on Instagram, so I'm following y'all on Instagram too.
My son is he Isaiah just put out all that stuff on there.
Yeah, and
I'm gonna do
yeah,
all that stuff
I'm
there.
gonna put it up here
I
too.
don't I don't know nothing but no technology. All I know is cooking. And
Right.
I love that.
And it's
Don't do
good
it.
that you love it, so you put everything into it and you give your best. So that's good. Yeah,
And that's what I tell people all the time. If I am not gonna give these people out there, even though I don't know the folks, I am not gonna give them anything that is not good.
Mhm.
If my stamp of approval is not on there and it's not right, no, it doesn't matter. I can't do that.
Yes.
That's not me.
So in talking, you've actually helped to again tell me some things that I wanted to know about ways in which you're using the food to help to educate people about Guyana and our culture.
Mhm.
I'm sure you've run into a lot of people in Tennessee who have didn't even had never even heard about Guyana, right?
Yeah, a whole lot. Where the island is? I'm like, no, we not an island, we a country. And soon I told him, I said, Trinidad. Oh, I heard of Trinidad. Okay, Guyana is the water. We cross over the water. There's Guyana, Trinidad,
Mhm.
and people. Like, oh my God,
Mhm.
I never went there.
True. So now I know you told us that you use your authentic, you get your stuff, Guyanese stuff and Caribbean stuff to prepare your dishes. Um, but do you think that, living in the US and living in a place like Tennessee in the South, um, has it impacted in any way the way it may not have impacted the way you prepare food, because from what you told me, but has it impacted in any way the way you conduct your business? Do you think maybe if you had a similar business in Guyana, how similar or how different would it have been?
I don't know if it would be any different, but only difference would be I wouldn't have to explain anything to the folks in Guyana, like how I have to explain it to the folks in Tennessee,
Mm, mm,
because they don't know. So
mm.
I have to. In Guyana, they already know because and there's some more new dish stuff that I'm getting ready, like to do on the food truck too, where I want to introduce them because I'm like, I don't know if they know about egg ball and cassava ball is what my father used to make. So
Mhm.
all those stuff, the pilori, when I used to sell out of my house,
Oh, my
here
favorite.
I used to make, the pilori never used to last. And I always say, you know, I don't know if you ever go to those Mexican restaurant where
Mm.
they would um bring the basket with the chips and
Right.
the
Mhm,
salsa.
mhm. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I want. I want when I have my restaurant. I want Pilari would be. I would serve
Yeah,
that. It
like
would be
the
something that
starter, the
I
appetizer,
yes, and
that
with
sounds
mango
so
sour
good.
and the roti and the puri and all this stuff. Oh my God.
Mhm.
And that's the thing. So that's why I said the difference with me with here and if doing the business back home because eventually I have to go home and open up a business too. The only difference is that in back home you don't have to explain it to because they already know. Here you have to walk these people through this stuff and explain it to them because they don't know. And all they know Jamaica. They go to Jamaica way. Being in Tennessee, and it's not that I love Tennessee or all that stuff because from growing up in Brooklyn and all over New York, Tennessee is very slow compared to. So, but I love the fact that I'm doing what I love because that's not what I used to do in New York. I was a home health aide worker in New York. So in Tennessee, I getting a chance to introduce these people to this Caribbean food,
Right.
and I get to do what I love. That's my passion. So that make it triple time better. So that's why I'm enjoying
Yes.
doing this stuff in Tennessee.
Yeah, right. And now, you mentioned something more than once, and it seems like you got some big plans for the Pepper Pot coming up.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
moving out to the food truck, tell us what are your plans for the future of the Pepper Pot?
Well, we always gonna do keep the food truck going.
Okay. Mhm.
And we also want to have one of those food trailer like what I had before to just park in front of any right now in Tennessee, a lot of these restaurants, a lot of these clubs, or even restaurant, they have a little food truck outside, like a trailer,
Mhm.
just not a movable one that is parked there.
Mhm.
All these places, they got this cannabis store over there, and we talking to them about putting a trailer outside of their store there, so that when people come in to buy stuff, it's like a smoke shop, and they sell all different kind of things. And when people just ask, cause we did an event there where we had to go and do food, and people's like, okay, where do I get this food? I wanted y'all could continue where y'all location. When people ask me where I located, all I could say all over
Mhm.
because we not one place.
Right.
So I wanna have a trailer where it could be set right there, and I've I have one of them kids or somebody working there, and though we have the food truck that is drivable to go all over, and I want to have a building where I really go all out, where I
And so
really gonna show them,
restaurant, Pepper Pot, the restaurant, the Pepper Pot restaurant.
yes,
Yes.
and where we'll have all the cook-up rice with the meat and all the other stuff. Oh my God. Yeah, that's my
Yeah,
dream.
well, you dream it and work towards it. Make, you have your plan, make your plan and work towards achieving it. And you got these bright young men helping you. So, well, Karen,
My pastry.
yes, you got it going. You are a busy, busy lady, I can tell, with all this food preparation. And but I want to congratulate you, commend you for, for
You.
your drive and for the ways in which you got your children, the American young men, but they're into our Caribbean culture. So, and you have made the Pepper Pot a family affair. And so they're helping you to share our culture with the world. So
Yeah.
I wish you every success as you move forward. You have the plans, the restaurant, the stationary trailer somewhere, along with the food truck, plus plus something in Guyana down the road. So yes.
Oh yeah. I am going home for I'm going home. I'm taking a mini vacation and I run home for 2 weeks and come back
Mhm.
before the summer start. Because when the summer start, it's a wrap. this food truck, when I say it's summertime, we all over this Tennessee. Oh my God.
Oh,
Just
so once again, I want to thank you, Miss Karen Thomas, and she calls herself Karen Chana Thomas, and she is the person behind the Pepper Pot, the Pepper Pot food truck
yeah.
in Nashville, Tennessee. Thank you for being with us, and thank you for sharing our culture with
Oh, yes, that's all.
Tennesseans and the world. And
Oh, they appreciate this too a
mm,
lot.
right,
Oh,
yes.
and I love when they ask questions though. My son's is gonna say, okay, leave them alone. I said, these folks are moving, these folks keep asking questions. So
Mhm.
all I could do is tell them. And the bad thing about it is all my all my all my family, like my sisters and them, is in New York. And the weird thing is that we come from a both parents being cooking too. All of them know to cook, but I'm the only one who carrying on
The business,
my
right,
parents'
right.
business.
The tradition,
Yeah,
yes.
and but I love doing it. So
Good. Yeah, that's the important part. So, to our viewers, thank you for watching. And once again, thanks, Karen. And everybody, we're gonna see you soon as we meet more people and learn from their experiences in our next
yeah,
episode of Our Culture to the World. Bye,
thank
guys.